Hello guys, welcome to Saiyan What Ifs. So in this video, we will see what if Goku become the god of all Saiyans. If you enjoy these kinds of stories, don't forget to show us some love by hitting the like button and subscribing to the channel. Your support means the world to us. Now, let's start the story. Chapter 1, The Awakening. The first punch came out of nowhere. Goku barely dodged it, feeling the wind rush past his face as he leaned back. His sparring partner wasn't holding back today. Come on Vegeta. I wasn't even powered up yet. Goku grinned, bouncing on his toes. The gravity chamber hummed around them at 500 times Earth's normal gravity, but both Saiyans moved like it was nothing. Vegeta smirked. A true warrior is always ready, Kakarot. Tournament of Powers been over for months. Getting soft already? Goku rolled his shoulders and cracked his neck. Nah, just hungry. But I guess food can wait. He flashed into Super Saiyan Blue in an instant, azure aura erupting around him. The familiar rush of godly ki flooded his system as he launched himself at Vegeta. Their fists collided with a thunderous boom that shook the chamber. For nearly an hour, they traded blows at speeds no human eye could follow, each impact threatening to crack the reinforced walls of the Capsule Corp training room. Goku felt good. Better than good. Since the tournament, something had changed in him. Each transformation came easier, power flowing more naturally. As he dodged a kick from Vegeta and countered with an elbow strike, he couldn't help but smile. Then it happened. A white-hot pain lanced through Goku's head. His vision blurred, replaced by flashes of strange images, planets he'd never seen, faces of Saiyans he didn't recognize, a massive temple built into a mountain. His knees buckled. Kakarot. Vegeta's voice sounded distant, underwater. Goku felt his power spike wildly, uncontrollably. His aura shifted from blue to something else, golden with flecks of crimson and deep purple. The gravity room's alarms blared. What the hell are you doing? Vegeta grabbed his arm. Power down before you blow us both up. Goku couldn't answer. The visions intensified, thousands of Saiyans kneeling, stars rearranging in unfamiliar patterns, a crown of energy forming above a shadowed figure. As suddenly as it began, everything stopped. Goku collapsed to his knees, breathing hard. What was that? He gasped. Vegeta stood over him, arms crossed but eyes narrowed with something close to concern. You tell me. Your power signature changed. It wasn't Super Saiyan, Kaioken, Ultra Instinct, or anything I've felt before. Goku wiped sweat from his forehead. I saw things, Vegeta. Saiyans. Lots of them. Still alive somewhere. Impossible. Our race was destroyed with planet Vegeta. I know what I saw. Goku stood, wobbling slightly. And felt. Something's happening to me. The door to the gravity room slid open with a hiss. Bulma stood there, tablet in hand, blue hair disheveled. What the hell, guys? The energy readings just broke 3 of my monitoring systems. She looked between them, registering Goku's unsteady stance. What happened? Before either could answer, Goku's stomach growled loudly. Heh, sorry. Guess I really am hungry after all. His trademark grin returned, but his eyes remained troubled. Vegeta scowled. Typical Kakarot, brushing off something serious for food. I'm not brushing it off, Goku said, his voice uncharacteristically serious. But I can't figure it out on an empty stomach either. Chi-Chi placed the last dish on the table, a mountain of food that would feed a small army, or one hungry Saiyan. There's more rice cooking, she said, wiping her hands on her apron. Goten. Dinner. Their younger son materialized seemingly from thin air, already reaching for food. Awesome. I'm starving. Goku sat at the table, mind still replaying the strange visions from earlier. He'd brushed it off with Vegeta, but something felt fundamentally different inside him. Like his ki was changing. Dad? Goten waved a hand in front of his face. You okay? You're not eating. Chi-Chi turned from the stove, immediately suspicious. Goku not eating? Are you sick? Goku blinked, suddenly aware he'd been staring at his plate. Sorry. Just thinking. He grabbed his chopsticks and began devouring food at his usual pace, earning a relieved smile from his wife. Halfway through dinner, it hit him again. Worse this time. The chopsticks clattered from his hand. His back arched as pain shot through his body. Every cell felt like it was being rewritten. Goku! Chi-Chi cried out. Dad! Goten jumped from his chair. Goku couldn't respond. The visions flooded back, a massive tree with glowing fruit, ancient battles between giant golden apes, a temple with symbols he somehow understood despite never seeing them before. His aura flared involuntarily, the same strange gold crimson purple as before. The dishes rattled on the table. Picture frames fell from the walls. Get back, he managed to gasp. Can't control it. Chi-Chi pulled Goten away as Goku's power continued to build. The house began to shake. With tremendous effort, Goku placed 2 fingers to his forehead and vanished. He reappeared in the wilderness, his private training grounds miles from any civilization. Just in time. The energy erupted from him in a massive column that split the clouds above. Trees bent away from the force of his power. Goku screamed as the visions became more intense. He saw a ceremony, felt words in a language he'd never spoken flow through his mind. He saw planets with red skies and 3 suns. He saw battles and conquests, but also protection and leadership. When it finally subsided, Goku fell to his knees, panting. The ground around him had been completely scorched in a perfect circle. What's happening to me? He whispered to the empty forest. As if in answer, he felt something new. Multiple key signatures approaching Earth, not immediately close, but heading directly for the planet. And they felt familiar. Saiyan. But not Saiyans he knew. Goku closed his eyes, focusing on the distant energies. There were at least 5, maybe more, all unmistakably Saiyan. His race wasn't as extinct as they'd thought. He needed to tell Vegeta. Ridiculous, Vegeta said, pacing Bulma's lab. There are no other Saiyans. I'm telling you, Vegeta, I can sense them. Goku sat on an examination table while Bulma ran scans on him. 5, maybe 6, heading right for Earth. And they just happened to show up after your little episode? Vegeta snorted. Quite the coincidence. There's definitely something unusual in your readings, Bulma said, frowning at her screens. Your base power level is fluctuating, and there's some kind of new energy signature intermixed with your normal ki. See? Goku pointed at the screen. Something's different. That doesn't prove there are Saiyans heading for Earth, Vegeta crossed his arms. The lab door slid open as Gohan rushed in. Dad! Are you okay? Mom called me freaking out. Goku rubbed the back of his head sheepishly. Yeah, sorry about that. Had another episode. The house is fine though. Another? Gohan pushed his glasses up. This happened before. Earlier today during our sparring session, Vegeta explained. Now he's convinced there are surviving Saiyans heading to Earth. Gohan looked between them. Well, is that possible? Of course not. Vegeta snapped. Frieza destroyed them all except for the handful we already know about. Actually. Bulma looked up from her computer. I'm detecting several small spacecraft entering the solar system. They'll reach Earth in about 3 hours. Everyone stared at her. What? Vegeta stomped over to look at her screen. That's impossible. See for yourself. She pointed to the radar readings. Are they Saiyan pods? Gohan asked, peering over Bulma's shoulder. Similar design, but more advanced, Bulma replied. Definitely not Earth technology. Goku stood up, wincing slightly as another flash of pain went through his head. I told you. They're coming because. He frowned, trying to grasp a thought that seemed just out of reach. Because they're looking for someone. For me. Why would strange Saiyans be looking for you specifically? Vegeta demanded. I don't know. But I'm going to meet them. Goku's expression turned determined. If they're Saiyans, I want to know how they survived. And why they're here now. 3 hours later, Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, and Piccolo stood in an open field where Bulma calculated the ships would land. Goten and Trunks had been ordered to stay with Bulma and Chi-Chi despite their protests. They're close, Piccolo said, his cape billowing in the wind. I can sense them now too. Goku nodded, eyes fixed on the sky. The strange energy inside him was resonating, growing stronger as the newcomers approached. 5 distinct energy signatures, Gohan confirmed. Definitely feels Saiyan. Vegeta remained silent, arms crossed, but his jaw was clenched tight. 5 streaks of light appeared in the atmosphere, growing larger by the second. With precise control, the pods slowed their descent and landed in a pentagonal formation, each impact creating a small crater. For several tense moments, nothing happened. Then, with synchronized hisses, the pod doors opened. 5 Saiyans emerged. 3 men and 2 women, all wearing modernized versions of Saiyan armor, stepped out and immediately scanned their surroundings. When their eyes fell on Goku, every one of them froze. The apparent leader, a tall, muscular woman with a short, spiky ponytail, stepped forward. Her tail was wrapped securely around her waist. Impossible, she whispered, eyes wide. It's him. Just as in the vision. Who are you? Vegeta demanded, stepping forward. Identify yourselves. The woman's eyes snapped to Vegeta, widening further. Prince Vegeta. She immediately dropped to one knee, the others following suit. Forgive us, Your Highness. We had no idea you survived. Vegeta looked momentarily thrown off by the display of respect. Answer my question. Who are you, and how did you survive the destruction of planet Vegeta? The woman kept her head bowed. I am Saiyan, captain of this squad. We are descendants of Saiyan explorers who left planet Vegeta generations before its destruction. Our ancestors established outposts on distant worlds. She looked up at Goku again, her expression almost reverent. And we have come because of the dreams. Dreams that have plagued all surviving Saiyans for months now. Dreams of. She hesitated. Of the one who would become our god. Goku blinked. You're what now? You're saying there are more Saiyans out there? Gohan asked. Yes, answered one of the male Saiyans, a stockier warrior with a beard. Small colonies scattered across the universe. We've lived in hiding since learning of our homeworld's destruction. Until the dreams began. What dreams? Piccolo asked, suspicious. Visions of a Saiyan with unprecedented power, Saiyan explained, her eyes never leaving Goku. One who defeated the tyrant Frieza, who achieved the legendary transformation and then transcended it multiple times. One who would unite our scattered people and lead us into a new era. And you think that's me? Goku pointed to himself, incredulous. Look, I'm just a guy who likes fighting strong opponents. I don't want to be anybody's god. Saiyan finally stood, her posture rigid. Yet the divine transformation has already begun. We can sense it in your ki. The ancient power awakening. Goku felt another spike of pain and strange energy. He grimaced, fighting to control it. See? Saiyan gestured toward him. The ascension is happening whether you wish it or not. This is absurd, Vegeta snapped. Kakarot is a low-class warrior who hit his head as a child. There's nothing divine about him. With respect, Prince Vegeta, Kallion said carefully, the prophecies don't lie. And they name him specifically, the Saiyan raised away from his culture who would achieve power rivaling the gods themselves. Piccolo stepped forward. What exactly does this god of Saiyans do? What's the purpose of this transformation? The bearded Saiyan answered, to unite our scattered people. To give us purpose again. To lead us into a new age of, actually, Goku interrupted, I've got a better question. Do any of you guys want to spar? Nothing serious, just a friendly match to see how strong you are. Everyone stared at him. What? Goku shrugged. If we're gonna talk about all this serious god stuff, I at least want to see what kind of fighters you are first. That's way more interesting than prophecies. Kallion looked confused. You want to fight? Now? Sure. Goku stretched his arms. Best way to get to know other Saiyans, right? Vegeta pinched the bridge of his nose. Typical Kakarot. Kallion exchanged glances with her companions, then stepped forward. Very well. I accept your challenge, my lord. Whoa, no need for that. Just call me Goku. Or Kakarot, if you prefer the Saiyan name. A small smile finally broke Kallion's serious expression. As you wish. Kakarot. Kallion was good. Really good. As she and Goku exchanged blows in the open field, the others watched from a safe distance. She fought with a disciplined style Goku hadn't seen before, clearly Saiyan in its aggression, but with more technique than he expected. You're holding back, she said, blocking a kick and countering with a punch that Goku easily avoided. So are you, he replied with a grin. They separated, landing 20 feet apart. Show me, she said, her expression intense. Show me the golden form of legend. Goku considered for a moment, then nodded. All right. But no divine stuff, just regular Super Saiyan. Deal? Without waiting for an answer, he transformed. The familiar golden aura erupted around him, his hair standing upright and changing color, his eyes shifting to teal. The 5 newcomers gasped collectively. The legend is real, one of them whispered. Kallion stared in open wonder for a moment before composing herself. With a shout, her own power surged, and to everyone's surprise, she too transformed into a Super Saiyan. Vegeta cursed under his breath. Gohan's eyes widened. Wow! Goku's face lit up with genuine excitement. You can do it too. That's awesome. Kallion looked momentarily confused by his enthusiasm, but then smiled fiercely. Our colony has produced 3 Super Saiyans in its history. I am the 3rd. She charged at him with renewed speed. Their golden auras clashed and merged as they exchanged blows faster than most eyes could follow. Though she was skilled, Goku could tell she wasn't anywhere near his level. Still, he enjoyed the spar, especially seeing another Saiyan's fighting style. After several exchanges, he caught her fist, stopping the fight. That's enough for now. You're really strong. Kallion was breathing hard but looked more exhilarated than tired. You weren't even trying. You're leagues beyond me. Hey, I've had a lot more practice with the transformation, Goku said kindly. How long have you been able to do it? 3 years, she admitted, powering down. Her hair returned to its normal black as she caught her breath. Goku powered down too. That's impressive. It took me seeing my best friend die to trigger my first transformation. Kallion's expression turned solemn. For me, it was the death of my brother during an attack on our colony. Remnants of Frisia's forces found us. We repelled them, but not without losses. I'm sorry, Goku said sincerely. She shook her head. It is the way of warriors. But that is why we need you. Our people are scattered, vulnerable. The prophecy speaks of unification, of strength through a divine leader. Goku scratched his head. I get that you guys need help, but I'm not really the leader type. I'm more of a, go-with-the-flow guy. Yet you led warriors from multiple universes to victory in the Tournament of Power, Saiyan said. Goku blinked in surprise. How do you know about that? The dreams showed us. All Saiyans across the universe have seen fragments of your battles, your transformations, your victories. Saiyan knelt again. You may not desire godhood, Kakarot, but it seeks you nonetheless. Before Goku could respond, pain shot through him again, worse than any previous episode. He clutched his head, dropping to one knee. Dad! Gohan rushed forward. Stay back. Goku managed to warn through gritted teeth. The strange energy surged through him, more powerful than before. His aura flickered into existence involuntarily, gold at first, then shifting to the unusual crimson-purple tinged gold they'd seen earlier. The 5 newcomers immediately prostrated themselves. The crimson crown, Saiyan whispered reverently. The mark of the Saiyan God King. Goku tried to control the power, but it was like trying to hold back the ocean. Strange symbols flashed in his mind, ancient Saiyan writing he somehow understood. What's happening to him? Vegeta demanded, approaching Saiyan. The awakening, she answered, not raising her head. His divine essence is emerging. It cannot be stopped now that he has encountered other Saiyans who recognize his claim. I don't have a claim. Goku shouted, his voice distorted by power. I don't want this. It is not about want, Saiyan said solemnly. It is destiny. The energy continued to build until Goku felt he might explode from it. Just when it seemed unbearable, he heard a voice in his head, ancient, powerful, speaking in the Saiyan language. Accept the first transformation, son Goku, or it will destroy you, the voice said. Embrace what you are becoming. With no other choice, Goku stopped fighting the energy. Instead, he let it flow through him, accepting it as he had accepted so many transformations before. The aura stabilized. The pain receded. Slowly, Goku stood. Everyone stared at him in awe. His appearance had changed subtly. His hair remained black but had grown slightly longer, with a single streak of crimson running through it. His eyes had deepened to a rich, dark purple with gold flecks. A faint symbol glowed on his forehead, an ancient Saiyan rune that meant, awakened. Well, Piccolo said dryly, that's new. Back at Capsule Corporation, Bulma ran every scan she could think of on Goku while the others filled her in on what had happened. This is fascinating, she murmured, looking at the readings. Your base power level has increased exponentially, and this new energy signature. I've never seen anything like it. It's divine energy, Saiyan explained. She and her companions had been granted temporary quarters at Capsule Corp while they explained their presence. Similar to what you call God Ki, but specific to Saiyan deities. Saiyan deities? Vegeta scoffed. Our people never worshipped gods. We were conquerors. Not always, said the bearded Saiyan, who had introduced himself as Bardock, no relation to Goku's father, despite sharing the name. In ancient times, before we became a warrior race serving under Frisia's family, Saiyans had a rich culture with our own pantheon. The most powerful was the God King, added another Saiyan named Leek. A mortal Saiyan chosen to ascend and lead our people, binding us together with divine power. Goku, still in his subtly transformed state, frowned. But I don't know how to lead anybody. I'm a fighter, not a king. That is why the transformation happens in stages, Saiyan said. This is merely the awakening, the first step. You will grow into your role as the power matures within you. And if I don't want it to mature? Goku asked pointedly. The Saiyans exchanged uneasy glances. It's too late, Bardock said gravely. The process has begun. To reject it now would likely kill you. And potentially unleash destructive energy that could threaten this planet. Great, Goku sighed. So I'm stuck with it. There is much honor in being chosen, said one of the female Saiyans, Jine, who had remained quiet until now. Our people have waited generations for this moment. How many Saiyans are left? Gohan asked, bringing the conversation back to practical matters. We've identified 3 major colonies and several smaller outposts, Gohan answered. Perhaps 2,000 Saiyans in total. 2,000. Vegeta looked genuinely shocked. Yes, Your Highness. Many will be journeying here once we confirm the prophecy is fulfilled. Gohan looked at Goku. They'll want to see their god. Goku groaned, burying his face in his hands. Chi-Chi, who had been silent throughout most of the explanation, finally spoke up. Now wait just a minute. You can't expect my Goku to drop everything and become some sort of Saiyan king. He has responsibilities here, a family, grandchildren. Chi-Chi's right, Goku said, looking up. I can't just abandon my life here. Perhaps a compromise, suggested Piccolo, who had been quietly observing. These Saiyans need guidance, protection. But that doesn't mean Goku has to leave Earth permanently. What are you suggesting, Namekian? Gohan asked. Earth could become a new home for Saiyans, Piccolo said. There's plenty of uninhabited land. Goku could provide leadership while maintaining his life here. Goku brightened. That could work. I could help train the Saiyans, make sure they fit in on Earth, and still be with my family. Is that acceptable? Gohan asked her companions. They conferred briefly before Bardock nodded. The prophecy doesn't specify where the new Saiyan homeland would be. Earth is as good a place as any, especially if our god resides here. Would Earth's governments be okay with a Saiyan colony? Gohan wondered. Bulma waved a hand dismissively. Leave that to me. Capsule Corporation owns plenty of land that could house a few thousand people. We'll work out the details. Hold on, Vegeta interrupted. We're getting ahead of ourselves. What exactly does being this god of Saiyans entail? What powers? What responsibilities? All eyes turned to the newcomers. According to the ancient texts, Gohan began, the God King unifies the Saiyan race through a divine bond. He can sense all Saiyans across the universe. He can grant power to worthy warriors. He serves as judge and protector. She hesitated. And, he leads our people in accordance with Saiyan traditions. What traditions? Goku asked suspiciously. The silence that followed was telling. Conquest. Vegeta guessed. Warfare. Bardock cleared his throat. The old ways did emphasize expanding Saiyan territory and demonstrating our strength. No way, Goku said firmly. If I'm stuck being this god person, we're doing things differently. No conquering planets. No hurting innocent people. The Saiyans looked troubled. But that is our way, Leek protested. Saiyans are warriors. We live for battle, for proving our strength. There are plenty of ways to prove your strength without killing people, Goku countered. Tournaments. Training. Defending those who can't defend themselves. Kakarot is right, Vegeta said unexpectedly. Everyone turned to him in surprise. He crossed his arms. Our old ways led to our near extinction. We became so feared that Frieza decided to eliminate us. A true warrior knows when tradition must evolve. Coming from Vegeta, this seemed to carry weight with the newcomers. Gohan considered for a long moment before nodding slowly. Perhaps, this is why you were chosen, Kakarot. To forge a new path for our people. Great. Goku's face broke into his characteristic grin. Now, is anyone else hungry? Because I'm starving. Over the next few days, more Saiyan pods arrived, small groups of 2 or 3 at a time. Each new arrival reacted the same way upon seeing Goku, with awe and immediate deference. It made him deeply uncomfortable. I don't get it, he told Vegeta as they watched a training session with some of the newcomers. Nearly 30 Saiyans had gathered now, temporarily housed in Capsule Corp facilities. They act like I'm something special just because of this weird transformation. You've always had that effect on people, Vegeta grumbled. Even without divine powers. Yeah, but that was because of things I did, not because of some prophecy. Goku sighed. And now Chi-Chi's mad because I'm spending so much time with them instead of at home. Vegeta snorted. Welcome to leadership, Kakarot. Everyone wants a piece of you. Below them, Saiyan was leading the Saiyans through combat drills. Despite his discomfort with his new status, Goku had to admit she was an effective second-in-command. She understood both traditional Saiyan values and the need to adapt to Earth. You should appoint her as your official representative, Vegeta suggested, following Goku's gaze. Let her handle the day-to-day matters. That's, actually a good idea. Goku looked surprised. Thanks, Vegeta. Don't get used to it. Vegeta smirked. I just don't want to listen to you complaining anymore. Their conversation was interrupted by a familiar voice. You who? Goku. Whis called, floating down from above with Beerus beside him. Lord Beerus. Whis. Goku waved excitedly. What brings you guys here? Beerus yawned, showing his fangs. Apparently there's a new divine entity in Universe 7. As God of Destruction, I'm obligated to investigate. His eyes narrowed at Goku's transformed appearance. I see the rumors are true. Whis examined Goku with interest. My. Saiyan divine energy. I haven't seen this in, well, millions of years. You know about this? Goku asked hopefully. Of course, Whis nodded. The Saiyan God King was quite renowned in ancient times, before your race's decline. He circled Goku, tapping his staff thoughtfully. But this is only the first stage of the transformation. You have a long way to go before achieving full godhood. Great, Goku muttered. So what happens next? Traditionally, there would be trials, Whis explained. Tests of worthiness set by the divine hierarchy. More importantly, Beerus interrupted, what are all these Saiyans doing on Earth? He gestured to the training field below. Before Goku could answer, Saiyan appeared beside them, having noticed the divine visitors. She immediately knelt. Lord Beerus, divine attendant Whis, she said respectfully. We come in peace, seeking only to reunite our scattered people under our rightful God. Beerus raised an eyebrow. At least this one has manners. He turned back to Goku. I hope you understand what you're getting into, Goku. Godhood isn't all fighting and eating. I didn't ask for it, Goku protested. Few gods do, Whis said with a knowing smile. But the universe has a way of putting people exactly where they need to be. Well, as long as these Saiyans don't cause trouble, I won't have to destroy this planet, Beerus yawned again. But I'll be watching. Actually, Whis said, there's another reason for our visit. The Grand Priest sent a message. He's interested in this development. Goku's eyes widened. Zenoa's attendant? Why would he care about Saiyan stuff? Any new divine entity requires proper registration and evaluation, Whis explained. It's all very bureaucratic, I'm afraid. You'll need to come with us to meet with him. Now. Goku frowned. But I promised Chi-Chi I'd be home for dinner tonight. Beerus rolled his eyes. See what I mean? Always thinking with your stomach instead of your divine responsibilities. Tomorrow then, Whis compromised. But don't delay further. The cosmic hierarchy takes these matters seriously. After they departed, Saiyan looked at Goku with concern. Is this a problem? Will the higher gods interfere with our people's reunion? Goku shook his head. Nah, the Grand Priest is okay. Just very formal. And Zeno likes me, so it should be fine. Zeno? Kallion looked shocked. You know the Omni King? Sure, Goku shrugged. We're buddies. Vegeta muttered something that sounded suspiciously like, unbelievable, under his breath. That evening, Goku sat on the roof of his house, watching the stars. His body still felt strange with the new energy flowing through it, but he was getting used to it. The crimson streak in his hair and the purple-gold eyes remained, visible signs of his partial transformation. He sensed Chi-Chi before he heard her climbing onto the roof to join him. Careful, he said, helping her up. It's steep. She settled beside him, wrapping her arms around her knees. For a while, they sat in comfortable silence. So, she finally said, God of all Saiyans, huh? Goku winced. I didn't ask for it, Chi-Chi, you never do. Her tone wasn't accusatory, just factual. Things just, happen to you. Always have. I'm sorry. He looked at her, the gold flecks in his eyes catching the moonlight. I know this complicates things. Chi-Chi sighed. Our life has never been simple, Goku. I accepted that a long time ago. She reached over and took his hand. What does it mean for us? For our family? I don't know exactly, Goku admitted. But I'm not leaving you. Or Earth. Whatever this God business involves, I'll make it work around our life, not the other way around. Chi-Chi smiled slightly. You sound almost mature. Hey! Goku protested with a laugh. Her expression grew serious again. These Saiyans, they have expectations. They want you to be something specific. Are you ready for that? Goku looked back up at the stars. I've never been what people expected me to be. Not as a Saiyan, not as a fighter, not even as a husband or father sometimes. He squeezed her hand. I'll do this my way. Help these people, but on my terms. That's what I was hoping you'd say. Chi-Chi leaned against his shoulder. Their moment was interrupted by a sharp gasp. They turned to see Goten hovering beside the roof, staring at Goku's transformed appearance. Dad! You look so cool, the boy exclaimed. Your eyes are all purple and gold, and that red streak in your hair is awesome. Goku grinned. Wanna sit with us, son? Goten eagerly joined them on the roof. Is it true there are a bunch of Saiyans training at Capsule Corp? Trunks said there are, and that you're their god now. It's complicated, Goku hedged. Can I meet them? Goten asked excitedly. Do any of them have kids my age? Can I train with them? Can I, slow down, Chi-Chi laughed. One question at a time. As Goku tried to explain the situation to his son in simple terms, he felt a sudden alertness, a new sense he hadn't experienced before. He could feel every Saiyan on Earth, precisely locating each one. More surprisingly, he sensed distant connections, faint threads of awareness stretching out into space, linking him to Saiyans he'd never met on distant worlds. Dad? Goten waved a hand in front of his face. You okay? Goku blinked, returning to the present. Yeah, just, new god powers activating, I guess. Cool. Goten's eyes widened. What can you do? I can sense all the Saiyans, Goku explained. Not just nearby, but really far away too. That makes sense, Chi-Chi said thoughtfully. If you're supposed to unify them, you'd need to know where they are. Goku nodded slowly. I can feel their emotions too, kind of. The ones at Capsule Corp are excited but nervous. And there are others coming, many others. How many? Chi-Chi asked, concern creeping into her voice. I'm not sure yet. But soon Earth is going to have a lot more Saiyans. Goku looked troubled. I hope that's not going to cause problems. The next morning, Goku prepared to meet with the Grand Priest. He'd spent hours with Kallion and Bardock, learning about Saiyan divine traditions to prepare himself. Remember, Saiyan instructed, adjusting Goku's GI for the 10th time, addressed the Grand Priest with utmost respect. This meeting could determine whether the higher gods sanction our reunion. Relax, Goku said. I've met him before. He's pretty easygoing. Easygoing? Bardock looked horrified. He's the second most powerful being in the multiverse. Goku shrugged. Yeah, but he's not stuck up about it. Vegeta, who was accompanying Goku at Whisa's suggestion, rolled his eyes. Just try not to embarrass our entire race, Kakarot. Whis arrived precisely on time, tapping his staff to create a warp. Ready? He asked cheerfully. As I'll ever be, Goku said, stepping forward. Let's go meet the Grand Priest. The journey to the Divine Realm was instantaneous. One moment they were at Capsule Corp, the next they stood in the ethereal palace above all universes. The Grand Priest was waiting, his perpetual smile in place. Son Goku, he greeted with a slight bow. Or should I say, God of Science. Quite a new development. Goku bowed back, remembering Kalyan's coaching. Thank you for meeting with us, Grand Priest. Of course. New divine entities are rare enough to warrant my personal attention. The Grand Priest circled Goku, examining his partially transformed state. Interesting. The ancient Saiyan divine bloodline reasserting itself after millions of years. You know about this? Vegeta asked. Oh yes. Before Saiyans became known as conquerors, they were one of the most spiritually advanced races in Universe 7. The Grand Priest smiled at their surprised expressions. History is often forgotten, especially by those living it. So what happens now? Goku asked. Am I in trouble for becoming a god without permission or something? The Grand Priest laughed softly. Gods aren't appointed by committee, son Goku. They emerge when needed. My role is merely to officially recognize your status and inform you of certain protocols. Protocols. Divine laws that all gods must follow. Non-interference in mortal affairs outside your domain. Respect for other divine territories. Proper channeling of divine energy. The Grand Priest produced a glowing scroll. It's all quite standard. Goku scratched his head. Do I have to read all that? The Grand Priest's smile tightened slightly. It would be advisable. Vegeta elbowed Goku hard in the ribs. Right. Of course I'll read it, Goku said quickly. Every word. Excellent. The Grand Priest handed over the scroll. Now, there is one more matter. Your ascension is incomplete. To be fully recognized as the god of Science, you must pass the traditional trials. What trials? Vegeta asked suspiciously. 3 tests, the Grand Priest explained. The trial of strength, the trial of wisdom, and the trial of spirit. Pass these, and your godhood will be complete. Fail. He left the consequence unspoken. Who sets these trials? Goku asked. Traditionally, they would be set by the previous god of Science. But as there hasn't been one for millions of years, the cosmic hierarchy will arrange suitable challenges. The Grand Priest's expression turned serious. Be warned, son Goku. These will test you beyond anything you've faced before. When do they start? Goku couldn't help the excitement that crept into his voice at the prospect of new challenges. When you are ready. But do not delay too long. The Grand Priest glanced at the scroll in Goku's hands. The divine transformation has begun. It must be completed, or the consequences could be unfortunate. Define unfortunate, Vegeta demanded. Cosmic instability. Dimensional fractures. Possibly the destruction of large portions of Universe 7. The Grand Priest maintained his pleasant smile. Nothing to worry about if the trials are completed promptly. Goku and Vegeta exchanged alarmed glances. I'll start right away, Goku promised. Wonderful. The Grand Priest clapped his hands together. Oh, and one more thing. Zeno has expressed interest in meeting the new god of Science. At your convenience, of course. Sure, I'd love to see Zeno again. Goku brightened. Then it's settled. You are provisionally recognized as the god of Science, pending completion of the trials. The Grand Priest bowed slightly. May your ascension bring balance to your race and to Universe 7. When they returned to Earth, they found Capsule Corp in an uproar. Dozens of new Saiyan pods had arrived while they were gone, bringing the total to nearly 100 visitors. Bulma looked frazzled as she tried to coordinate housing and supplies. This is getting out of hand, she told Goku. We need a more permanent solution than my company compound. And more are coming every day. I can feel them, Goku nodded, using his new sense. At least 3 larger ships with maybe 50 Saiyans each, arriving within the week. We need land, Kalayan said, joining them. A place to establish a proper Saiyan settlement. Gohan, who had been helping Bulma organize the newcomers, offered a suggestion. What about the area near Mount Paozu? There's plenty of uninhabited wilderness, good hunting, fresh water. That could work, Goku agreed. It's where I grew up, so I know it well. I'll handle the legal side, Bulma sighed. Buying the land, getting permits, the usual red tape. As they discussed logistics, Kalayan pulled Goku aside. My lord, she said quietly, there's something you should know. Some of the new arrivals, they have different expectations of what the god of Science should be. Goku frowned. Different how? More traditional, Kalayan explained carefully. They believe our people should return to the old ways. Conquest. Proving our superiority. I already said that's not happening, Goku said firmly. I know. And I support your vision. Kalayan looked troubled. But there may be resistance. Challenges to your authority. Let them challenge, Goku shrugged. I don't mind a good fight. Kalayan shook her head. It's not that simple. Divine succession among Saiyans has specific rituals. If challenged properly, you would be bound by ancient law to respond accordingly. What does that mean exactly? Before she could answer, they were interrupted by commotion outside. A new group of Saiyans had arrived, but unlike the others, these didn't immediately kneel upon seeing Goku. Their leader, a tall, scarred warrior with a face that seemed permanently set in a scowl, stepped forward. So this is the supposed god of Science, he said, voice dripping with contempt. He doesn't look like much. Kalayan immediately stepped between them. Watch your tone, Paragus. You address your god. I see no god, the man called Paragus sneered. I see a soft warrior who knows nothing of true Saiyan heritage. Goku studied the newcomer calmly. You're disappointed. I get that. You expected someone different. I expected a true Saiyan, Paragus spat. Not some earth-raised weakling who rejects our warrior culture. Vegeta stepped forward, anger radiating from him. You dare speak to Kakarot that way? Have you forgotten who defeated Frieza? Who mastered Super Saiyan forms you can't even comprehend? Paragus turned to Vegeta, his expression shifting slightly. Prince Vegeta. Your presence here surprises me. Do you truly support this, pretender? Kakarot is many things, Vegeta said coldly, but a pretender isn't one of them. The divine transformation is real. I've witnessed it. Transformations can be faked, Paragus countered. Only actions prove worth. Goku stepped past Kalayan, facing Paragus directly. You want proof? Fine. What do you need to see? Paragus smiled, revealing a chipped canine. According to ancient law, any Saiyan may challenge the divine claim through combat. If you are truly our god, prove it. Fight me. A hush fell over the gathering. Kalayan looked alarmed. My lord, you don't have to accept. This is, I accept, Goku interrupted. He felt the divine energy inside him stir, as if responding to the challenge. Name your terms. Full combat. No restrictions. Paragas's smile widened. To submission or death. No killing, Goku countered firmly. I won't take a Saiyan life unnecessarily. First to surrender or become unable to continue. Paragas considered for a moment, then nodded. Acceptable. Tomorrow at dawn. Before all Saiyans present. As he walked away, Kallayan turned to Goku with concern. You shouldn't have accepted so quickly. Paragas is dangerous, possibly the strongest among the new arrivals. Good, Goku grinned. Then it'll be a fun fight. Vegeta crossed his arms. Don't underestimate him, Kakarot. He has something planned. No Saiyan would challenge you directly without a strategy. Maybe, Goku admitted. But I need to show all these Saiyans what kind of god I'm going to be. And the best way to do that is through action, not words. As the crowd dispersed, Bardock approached Goku with a serious expression. There's something else you should know, he said gravely. According to our histories, divine challenges are not just physical contests. They connect to the trial of strength the Grand Priest mentioned. You mean this could be my first god trial? Goku asked. Precisely. The universe has a way of manifesting these trials through circumstance. Bardock looked troubled. Be careful, Lord Kakarot. There's more at stake than just one battle. Dawn broke over the hills outside West City. A makeshift arena had been established, a simple circle marked in the dirt, surrounded by nearly 200 Saiyans who had gathered to witness the challenge. Word had spread quickly, drawing even more arrivals overnight. Goku stood at the edge of the circle, stretching. Chi-Chi, Gohan, and Goten watched nervously from nearby, along with Piccolo, Krillin, and other Earth friends who had come to support him. You don't have to do this, Dad, Gohan said quietly. There must be another way to establish your authority. It's not about authority, Goku replied, rolling his shoulders. It's about showing them what kind of leader I'll be. Through actions, not just words. Across the circle, Paragas removed his armor, revealing a body covered in battle scars. His followers cheered as he entered the ring. Kallayan stepped into the center, raising her hand for silence. This challenge is conducted under ancient Saiyan law, she announced formally. Paragas son of Nori challenges the divine claim of Kakarot, Earth-raised Saiyan. Combat will continue until submission or incapacitation. She looked between the two warriors. The laws of our ancestors bind both participants. Do you acknowledge these terms? I do, Paragas growled. I do, Goku echoed, feeling the divine energy respond to the formal words. Then let the challenge begin. Kallayan stepped back quickly. Paragas wasted no time, transforming immediately into a Super Saiyan and charging at Goku. The attack was fast and precise, a kick aimed at Goku's head that would have decapitated a lesser fighter. Goku dodged without transforming, his movements fluid and relaxed. He countered with a light jab that Paragas barely blocked. Transform. Paragas demanded, throwing a flurry of punches. Show your true power. Not yet, Goku replied calmly, evading each strike. I want to see what you can do first. This seemed to infuriate Paragas, whose attacks became more aggressive but less controlled. Goku continued to dodge and block, studying his opponent's style and weaknesses. After several minutes of this, murmurs began spreading through the crowd. Some looked impressed by Goku's skill even in his base form. Others seemed disappointed by the lack of spectacle. Suddenly, Paragas jumped back and raised his hand. 3 of his followers tossed objects into the ring, curved daggers with ornate handles. Traditional Saiyan combat includes weapons, Paragas declared, snatching one from the air. Let's see how you handle this aspect of our culture. Several spectators gasped. Saiyan stepped forward. This wasn't agreed upon, the terms were full combat, Paragus interrupted. This is how true Saiyans fight. Goku remained calm. It's okay, Saiyan. He picked up one of the daggers, testing its weight. Interesting. I've never fought with one of these before. Paragus attacked again, blade slashing with expert precision. Goku parried with his own weapon, the metal singing as the blades connected. Despite his lack of experience with daggers, Goku's natural combat instincts allowed him to adapt quickly. You fight well for someone raised away from our culture, Paragus acknowledged, drawing first blood with a slash across Goku's arm. I'm a quick learner, Goku replied, not even glancing at the wound. The fight intensified, Paragus using every dirty trick in the Saiyan combat handbook, feints, thrown dirt, even attempting to use the sun's glare to blind Goku. Throughout it all, Goku remained unruffled, gradually forcing Paragus to expand more energy just to keep up. Finally, frustration overwhelmed the challenger. Enough games. Transform and fight me properly. Goku stopped, lowering his dagger. Is that what this is about? Seeing my divine form? It's about proving whether you're worthy. Paragus snarled. Transform. Goku considered for a moment, then nodded. All right. The air around him began to shimmer as the divine energy rose to the surface. The crimson streak in his hair brightened, his eyes shifting fully to that strange purple gold. The symbol on his forehead glowed more intensely. But it wasn't a full Super Saiyan transformation, it was something different, more controlled. This is the awakening stage, Goku explained, his voice carrying a subtle resonance that hadn't been there before. The first step toward becoming the god of Saiyans. Paragus attacked again, but Goku caught his wrist effortlessly, stopping the dagger inches from his face. The difference in their power was suddenly, starkly apparent. I could end this now, Goku said quietly. But that's not why I accepted your challenge. With a twist of his wrist, he disarmed Paragus, sending the dagger flying out of the circle. Then he released his grip and stepped back. I wanted to understand why you oppose me. What you're afraid of. I fear nothing. Paragus roared, charging again with bare fists. Goku caught his punch, holding him in place with seemingly no effort. You fear change. You fear a Saiyan culture that doesn't revolve around the things you value, conquest, domination, the old ways. Paragus struggled to free himself, his Super Saiyan aura flaring wildly. Those ways made us strong. They are our heritage. They also led to our near extinction, Goku countered. There's strength in adaptation, in learning new approaches. He released Paragus again, stepping back. Transform to your maximum. Show me everything you have. Enraged, Paragus pushed his Super Saiyan form further, muscles bulking, lightning crackling around his golden aura, Super Saiyan 2, though not as refined as Goku's version. With a battle cry, he launched his most powerful attack, a concentrated beam of energy aimed directly at Goku's heart. Goku didn't dodge. Instead, he raised one hand and caught the energy, compressing it until it disappeared entirely into his palm. The crowd gasped collectively. That was impressive, Goku said sincerely. You're stronger than most of the Saiyans here. Paragus stood panting, his energy nearly spent. Then finish it. Defeat me. I could, Goku acknowledged. But instead, I'm going to offer you a choice. This seemed to catch Paragus off guard. What choice? Join us. Help build a new Saiyan culture that preserves the strength and pride of our people without the cruelty and conquest. Or leave, find your own path. Goku's expression was serious. But I won't kill or humiliate a fellow Saiyan just to prove my power. Confusion replaced rage on Paragus's face. That's not how these challenges work. I know. And that's exactly my point. Goku powered down to his base form, the divine aspects receding though not disappearing entirely. I'm not going to be the kind of God who rules through fear or tradition for tradition's sake. I'll be the kind who leads by example and respects the strength of every Saiyan, even those who challenge me. He extended his hand. So what's it going to be? Join us, or go your own way. The arena was silent, every Saiyan watching intently. This wasn't just a fight anymore, it was a definition of what their new culture would be under Goku's leadership. For a long moment, Paragus stared at the offered hand. Then, slowly, his Super Saiyan form faded. With obvious reluctance but a hint of newfound respect, he grasped Goku's forearm in the traditional Saiyan warrior's greeting. I still don't fully accept you, he said gruffly. But I'll stay. Watch. Judge your worthiness through your actions, not just this one fight. Goku smiled. That's all I ask. As they exited the circle, Kalayan approached with wide eyes. That's not how divine challenges traditionally end, she whispered. Good, Goku replied. It's time for some new traditions. From the edge of the gathering, Vegeta watched with a complex expression, part irritation, part admiration. Only Kakarot would win a fight by refusing to finish it, he muttered to Bulma beside him. That's why they'll follow him, she replied. He's not what they expected, but he might be what they need. As the crowd dispersed, discussing what they'd witnessed, Goku felt a strange resonance within the divine energy inside him, as if something had clicked into place, a piece of a puzzle completed. Bardock approached, bowing slightly. Congratulations, Lord Kakarot. I believe you've passed the first trial. The trial of strength? Goku asked. Yes. Though not in the way anyone anticipated. Bardock smiled slightly. True strength isn't just about power, but knowing when and how to use it. Or when to show mercy. Goku looked out at the Saiyans, his people now, whether he'd asked for that responsibility or not. They were watching him, evaluating, judging. Some with respect, others with lingering skepticism. All waiting to see what kind of god he would become. 2 more trials to go, he said quietly. And something tells me they'll be even harder than this one. Undoubtedly, Bardock agreed. But for now, you've earned their attention. The rest will come in time. As the sun climbed higher in the sky, Goku realized this was just the beginning of a journey he'd never expected to take, becoming the god of all Saiyans, not through conquest or divine right, but through actions and choices that would reshape an entire culture. And despite all his reservations, part of him was actually looking forward to the challenge. Chapter 2, Trial of the Gods. 3 months flew by in a blur of activity. The new Saiyan settlement took shape at remarkable speed on the outskirts of Mount Paozu. Bulma's influence and resources secured the land, and the Saiyans proved to be efficient builders once they understood the project wasn't a competition. Goku stood on a hillside overlooking the growing community, the early morning sun casting long shadows across the valley. Simple dwellings mixed with training facilities, communal gathering spaces, and gardens where earth crops were being taught to Saiyan farmers more accustomed to conquering planets than cultivating them. It's pretty impressive, Krillin said, joining him on the hilltop. Hard to believe just 3 months ago these guys were scattered across the universe. Goku nodded, the crimson streak in his hair catching the sunlight. His appearance hadn't changed much since the awakening, though he'd grown more comfortable with the constant hum of divine energy flowing through him. They work hard. Especially once Vegeta convinced them that building a home was worthy of Saiyan pride. Goku chuckled. Though I think he just got tired of them all staying at Capsule Corporation. Speaking of Vegeta. Krillin nodded toward a figure marching up the hill toward them, his scowl visible from a distance. Here we go again, Goku sighed. That's the 3rd time this week. Vegeta stopped in front of them, arms crossed. Kakarot. The training sessions are starting. The god of Saiyans should be present, not daydreaming on hillsides. Morning to you too, Vegeta. Goku stretched lazily. I was just taking a quick break. Been up since dawn helping set up the new combat rings. While you're taking breaks, the Saiyans are watching. Judging. Vegeta's scowl deepened. Almost 500 of them now, and more arriving weekly. Many still question whether you're fit to lead. Let them question, Goku shrugged. I didn't ask for this job, remember? Something flashed in Vegeta's eyes, a brief glimpse of the resentment he'd been nursing for months. No. It was handed to you. Like everything else. The tension between them crackled almost visibly. Krillin glanced between them nervously. I should probably get going. Promised 18 I'd be back for breakfast. Later guys. He retreated hastily down the hill. Alone now, Goku faced Vegeta directly. Just say what's on your mind. You've been holding back for weeks. Fine. Vegeta uncrossed his arms, fists clenching at his sides. You don't deserve this. Being the god of Saiyans should be my birthright. I am the prince of our race, the one who carried our pride when you didn't even know what a Saiyan was. The words hung in the air between them. Goku didn't look surprised, he'd sensed this confrontation brewing since the transformation began. You're right, he said simply. Vegeta blinked, thrown off by the agreement. What? You're right. It probably should have been you. You understand Saiyan culture way better than I do. Goku sat down on a nearby rock, gesturing for Vegeta to join him. But for whatever reason, this divine energy picked me. Because the universe loves its cosmic jokes, Vegeta muttered, remaining standing. The low-class warrior who rejected his heritage becomes our god. Maybe it's because I rejected it, Goku suggested. Maybe what the Saiyans need isn't someone to preserve the old ways, but someone to create new ones. Vegeta's expression darkened. Don't pretend this is about destiny or what's best for our race. It's just dumb luck, like always. Goku sighed, running a hand through his hair. What do you want from me, Vegeta? You want me to step aside? I would if I could, but according to everyone, that would blow up half the universe now that the transformation started. I want. Vegeta paused, struggling with the words. I want you to prove you deserve it. Not through kindness or speeches about change. Through combat. As Saiyans have always determined leadership. Goku stood slowly, studying his rival's face. You want to fight me for it? You know that won't change the divine transformation. No. But it will settle things between us. Vegeta's aura flickered briefly around him. A formal challenge. Not like that farce with Paragus. A true battle with no holding back. The divine energy within Goku responded to the challenge, rising to the surface. The symbol on his forehead glowed faintly. When and where, he asked quietly. The main training grounds. Midday. Vegeta finally met his eyes directly. Before all Saiyans. So they can see which of us truly deserves to lead. Goku nodded once. I'll be there. As Vegeta turned to leave, Goku called after him. This isn't going to fix what's bothering you, Vegeta. The Saiyan prince paused without turning around. We'll see. Word spread through the settlement like wildfire. By midday, every Saiyan not on essential duty had gathered around the largest training field. Earth's defenders were there too, Gohan, Piccolo, Krillin, Tien, and others, watching with concerned expressions. Kal-Ion approached Goku as he prepared, stretching at the edge of the field. My lord, this is unwise, she said quietly. Prince Vegeta's challenge undermines your authority just when the community is beginning to accept you. Or it reinforces it, Goku countered. Depends on how things go. Kal-Ion frowned. The traditional response to such a challenge would be swift and merciless. To make an example. Yeah, well, I'm not big on tradition. Goku grinned. Besides, Vegeta needs this. He's been bottling this up since day one. On the opposite side of the field, Vegeta removed his training armor, leaving only his blue bodysuit. The crowd parted as he walked toward the center, his presence commanding respect despite his challenger status. This was, after all, their prince by birth. Goku met him in the middle. The contrast between them was stark, Goku still in his orange GI with the divine markings visible but subdued, Vegeta in his tight-fitting battle suit, face set in grim determination. No referee was needed. No formal announcements. Every Saiyan present understood what was happening. This was more than a fight between warriors, it was a clash of ideologies about what their race should become. No holding back, Kakarot, Vegeta said, his voice low enough that only Goku could hear. I want your full power. Your full divine form. Whatever it is now. Goku nodded. Same goes for you. Everything you've got. They separated to opposite sides of the field. The crowd fell silent, tension thick in the air. For a moment, neither moved. Then, as if responding to some invisible signal, both warriors transformed simultaneously, Vegeta into Super Saiyan Blue, Goku into his divine form, the crimson gold aura erupting around him, his eyes shifting fully to that otherworldly purple gold. They clashed in the center of the field with an impact that shook the ground. The shockwave from their first exchange sent dust and debris flying outward, forcing spectators to shield their faces. What followed was unlike any battle most had witnessed. Both fighters moved with speeds that made them nearly invisible to all but the most trained eyes. Their auras merged and separated in a deadly dance, each blow powerful enough to shatter mountains. Vegeta fought with precision and fury, every strike aimed to disable or damage. His technique was flawless, his power staggering. He had clearly been training obsessively, pushing Blue to new heights. Goku matched him move for move, his divine form granting him extraordinary awareness and reflexes. But he wasn't overwhelming Vegeta, they were evenly matched, trading blows that echoed like thunder across the valley. Not bad, Goku called out during a brief separation. You've gotten stronger. Stop patronizing me. Vegeta roared, unleashing a barrage of ki blasts that Goku deflected or dodged. The prince followed immediately, appearing behind Goku with blinding speed, landing a solid kick to his back that sent him crashing into the ground. Before the dust cleared, Goku rebounded, catching Vegeta with an uppercut that launched him skyward. I'm not patronizing you, Goku said as they re-engaged mid-air. I mean it. You've pushed Blue further than I thought possible. Yet still not enough to match your divine power, Vegeta spat, blood trickling from a split lip. It's not about power level. Goku blocked a punch, countering with one of his own that Vegeta barely avoided. This transformation, it's different. It's not just strength. Save your excuses. Vegeta's aura intensified as he pushed himself further, veins bulging at his temples. His next series of attacks came with increased ferocity, several landing solidly despite Goku's defenses. A particularly vicious combination sent Goku crashing to Earth again, creating a crater in the training field. The Saiyans watching roared their approval. This was the kind of battle they understood, primal, powerful, decisive. Goku rose slowly from the crater, wiping blood from his mouth. His GI was torn, burns and bruises visible on his exposed skin. Yet he was smiling. That all you got, Vegeta, he called out. With a howl of rage, Vegeta dove at him, aura flaring even brighter. Goku stood his ground, the divine energy surging. Just before impact, something shifted, the symbol on his forehead pulsed, and suddenly his movements became fluid, almost precognitive. He caught Vegeta's fist inches from his face, holding it there with apparent ease. Their eyes met, Vegeta's wide with shock, Goku's glowing with that strange purple-gold light. This is what I was trying to tell you, Goku said softly. The divine energy, it responds to need. To purpose. Not just to anger or pride. Vegeta tried to pull free but couldn't break Goku's grip. More garbage about the power of friendship? Is that your divine wisdom? No. Goku released him suddenly and stepped back. It's about understanding what we're fighting for. What's your purpose here, Vegeta? Really? To prove I am the superior warrior. Vegeta attacked again, launching into a flurry of strikes that Goku now seemed to avoid with minimal movement. That's never been in question, Goku replied, weaving through the assault. You're amazing. One of the greatest fighters I've ever known. But that's not why you're angry. Shut up and fight me properly. Vegeta landed a solid blow to Goku's ribs, likely cracking several. Goku winced but didn't counter. Instead, he caught Vegeta's wrists again, holding him in place. You're not angry because I got this power, he said, his voice carrying across the now silent field. You're angry because deep down, you're afraid I'll fail. That I'll mess up the one chance to restore the Saiyan race with honor. Vegeta froze, his expression shifting from rage to something more complex. Our people follow me because of some prophecy, Goku continued. But they respect you because of who you are. What you represent. The royal bloodline. The pride of true Saiyan heritage. He released Vegeta again and stepped back. I need that. They need that. For several long seconds, Vegeta stood motionless, internal conflict visible on his face. The crowd watched, barely breathing, as something unprecedented unfolded before them, not just a battle of fists, but of ideals. What are you saying, Kakarot? Vegeta finally asked, his voice tight. I'm saying I don't want to be the god of science alone. Goku's expression was earnest. I need a partner. Someone who understands our people's past while I try to guide their future. Murmurs spread through the crowd. This wasn't how Saiyan leadership challenges were supposed to work. Vegeta's eyes narrowed. If this is pity, it's not. Goku cut him off. It's necessity. You know I'm making this up as I go. Half the time I have no idea what I'm doing. He grinned sheepishly. But you do. You were raised for leadership. The tension in Vegeta's posture didn't disappear, but it shifted. What exactly are you proposing? I don't know what to call it. Royal advisor? Second in command? The details don't matter. Goku extended his hand. What matters is that these people get the best of both of us, not just one victor. The silence that followed was absolute. Hundreds of eyes fixed on Vegeta, waiting for his response. After what seemed an eternity, Vegeta powered down to his base form. Goku followed suit, the divine aspects receding though not disappearing entirely. This changes nothing between us, Vegeta said gruffly. I still intend to surpass you someday. Goku's face split into a wide grin. I wouldn't have it any other way. Instead of taking Goku's offered hand, Vegeta turned to address the assembled Saiyans. Listen well, his voice carried across the field. Kakarot may have been chosen by this divine power, but he knows nothing of our heritage, our traditions, our pride. As Prince of all Saiyans, I will ensure that our future does not erase our past. Any who follow him must also respect my authority in matters of Saiyan culture and tradition. The crowd's reaction was mixed, confusion, surprise, and for many, approval. This compromise preserved the hierarchy they understood while acknowledging the new divine order. Saiyan was the first to step forward, kneeling briefly to both Goku and Vegeta in turn. The God and the Prince. Together, they will forge our new path. Others followed her lead, the gesture spreading through the crowd. Even Paragus and his followers, after a moment's hesitation, bowed in acknowledgement. As the formal moment dissolved into excited discussion, Goku approached Vegeta again. That wasn't so hard, was it? He asked with a grin. Don't push your luck, Kakarot. Vegeta scowled, but there was less heat in it than before. This arrangement works only so long as you listen when I tell you you're being an idiot. So, business as usual then. Despite himself, Vegeta's lips twitched in what might almost have been a smile. I suppose so. From the edge of the field, Gohan watched the exchange with relief. Leave it to Dad to turn a life-or-death battle into a job offer. Piccolo nodded. It was the right move. The Saiyans need both of them, Goku's strength and compassion balanced by Vegeta's knowledge and discipline. As the crowd dispersed, Goku felt that same resonance he'd experienced after the challenge with Paragus, as if another piece of a cosmic puzzle had fallen into place. Though the trial hadn't taken the form he expected, something significant had been achieved. His attention was drawn skyward by a familiar energy signature. Whis descended gracefully from above, landing lightly beside him. Most interesting, the angel said, tapping his staff thoughtfully. Not the resolution I expected, but effective nonetheless. Were you watching the whole time? Goku asked. Oh yes. Quite the spectacle. Whis smiled. Though I'm not here merely as a spectator. I bring news. The cosmic authorities have determined it's time for your formal divine trials to begin. Goku's expression turned serious. Already? The Grand Priest said they'd start when I was ready. And your resolution with Vegeta indicates readiness, Whis replied. Divine harmony requires balance, something you've just demonstrated you understand. So what happens now? You will face 3 trials, as is tradition. The trial of strength, which many believe you've already passed through your challenges here, the trial of wisdom, and the trial of spirit. Whis's expression turned uncharacteristically serious. Each will test you in ways you cannot prepare for. And failure could have catastrophic consequences. For me. For the universe. Whis gestured toward the settlement below. This transformation isn't merely about your personal journey, Goku. The energy you now channel is fundamental to cosmic balance. If mishandled, it could destabilize reality itself. Goku swallowed hard. No pressure, huh? Indeed. Whis's smile returned. The first formal trial will commence in 3 days. I suggest you rest and prepare yourself mentally. The challenges ahead will not be resolved with fists alone. As Whis departed, Vegeta approached, having overheard the conversation. More divine tests, he asked. I thought our battle might have satisfied that requirement. Apparently not. Goku looked troubled. Whis made it sound pretty serious. Everything about godhood is serious, Kakarot. That's what I've been trying to tell you. Vegeta crossed his arms. At least now you won't face it alone. Goku's expression brightened. Does that mean you're actually going to help me study for a test? That's a first. Don't get used to it, Vegeta grumbled. I'm only doing this because the fate of our race depends on you not making a complete fool of yourself. But as they walked back toward the settlement together, both knew something fundamental had changed between them, not friendship exactly, but a partnership forged in mutual respect and shared purpose. That evening, Goku returned home to find Chi-Chi waiting with dinner ready and a concerned expression on her face. I heard about the fight with Vegeta, she said as he washed up. Goten couldn't stop talking about it when he got home from school. It wasn't as bad as it probably sounded, Goku assured her, sitting down at the table. Actually, I think it fixed some things between us. Chi-Chi served the food, enough for a small army, or one hungry Saiyan god. That's good. But there's something else we need to discuss. Goku paused mid-reach for a bowl of rice, recognizing her serious tone. What's wrong? You haven't been home in 3 days, Goku. Chi-Chi sat across from him. Before that, it was 4 days. You're spending all your time at that Saiyan settlement. Guilt flashed across his face. I'm sorry, Chi-Chi, there's just so much happening. New Saiyans arriving, training sessions to organize, disputes to settle. I understand that. Her voice was measured, controlled. But Goten barely sees you anymore. And when you are here, you're distracted, or exhausted, or rushing off to handle some new crisis. Goku set down his chopsticks, food momentarily forgotten. I don't know how to balance it all yet. This god stuff, it's complicated. Everyone wants something from me. And what about what your family needs? Chi-Chi asked softly. The question hit harder than any punch Vegeta had landed earlier. Goku looked down at his hands, the same hands that had held godly power and shaped the future of a race, yet somehow couldn't manage to be present for his own family. I'm trying my best, he said finally. But I don't know how to be in two places at once. Or how to be what everyone needs me to be. Chi-Chi's expression softened. She reached across the table and took his hand. No one expects you to be perfect, Goku. Not even a god can please everyone all the time. Then what do I do? Set boundaries. Delegate. Let others handle what they can so you can focus on what only you can do. She squeezed his hand. And remember that being god of science doesn't change the fact that you're also husband to a human and father to half-human children. Goku nodded slowly. You're right. I'll talk to Saiyan and Vegeta tomorrow about reorganizing things. Maybe set up a council to handle day-to-day stuff. Good. Chi-Chi smiled. Now eat your dinner before it gets cold. As Goku dug in with his usual enthusiasm, Goten came bounding into the room. Dad! You're home. The boy launched himself at Goku, who caught him in a one-armed hug while continuing to eat with his free hand. Everyone at school was talking about your fight with Uncle Vegeta. Trunks said it was the most awesome thing ever. It was pretty cool, Goku admitted between mouthfuls. But hey, how about tomorrow we do some training together? Just you and me? Goten's face lit up. Really? You mean it? Absolutely. First thing in the morning. As Goten excitedly recounted his day, Goku caught Chi-Chi's approving smile. One small step toward balance, at least. Later that night, as Chi-Chi slept beside him, Goku found himself unable to rest. The divine energy within him seemed restless, responding to his troubled thoughts. In 3 days, he would face the first formal trial. Whis hadn't explained what it would entail, only that failure wasn't an option. He slipped out of bed quietly and made his way outside. The night air was cool against his skin as he sat cross-legged in the yard, looking up at the stars. I never asked for any of this, he whispered to the night sky. I just wanted to get stronger, protect my friends, have good fights. The stars offered no answer, but the divine energy within him pulsed in response to his words, as if trying to communicate something beyond language. Goku closed his eyes, focusing inward, trying to understand what this power truly wanted from him. Images flashed through his mind, Saiyans scattered across the universe, many still unaware of their heritage, others clinging to destructive traditions. He saw potential futures, paths of destruction, paths of renewal, paths of transformation. And somehow, he stood at the crossroads of all of them. It's not just about me, is it? He murmured, understanding dawning slowly. It's about what the Saiyans could become. What they need to become. The energy settled, as if affirming his realization. For the first time since the transformation began, Goku felt a sense of purpose beyond simply dealing with the immediate challenges. There was a reason he, specifically, had been chosen, not Vegeta with his royal blood, not some other powerful Saiyan who had preserved their culture. Because Goku could imagine a different future. Because he wasn't bound by the weight of tradition or the limitations of what Saiyans had always been. With this new clarity came determination. Whatever trials lay ahead, he would face them not just to complete his transformation, but to secure a future where Saiyan strength could be a force for protection rather than destruction. The next morning, true to his word, Goku took Goten for training. They flew to a secluded spot in the mountains, the same place where Goku had trained with Gohan years ago. Alright, show me what you've been working on, Goku said, dropping into a fighting stance. Goten grinned and immediately transformed into a Super Saiyan, his golden aura lighting up the clearing. His attacks had improved significantly, sharper, more focused, less reliant on raw power. Wow, you've gotten better. Goku praised, blocking a particularly clever combination. Who's been training with you? Mostly Gohan and Trunks, Goten replied, trying unsuccessfully to land a kick. But Kalyan's been showing me stuff too when she visits. Goku raised an eyebrow, catching Goten's fist. Kalyan comes here. Yeah, she brings reports for Mom to give to you. Goten broke away, panting slightly. She says Mom is scarier than any Saiyan god, so she always makes sure to check in. Goku laughed. Smart woman. He hadn't realized Kalyan had been keeping Chi-Chi informed about settlement business, another reminder of how much he was missing by being stretched so thin. They trained for hours, Goku carefully gauging Goten's progress and offering guidance without overwhelming him. It felt good to focus on something simple and joyful, passing knowledge to his son without the weight of divine responsibility. When they finally took a break, sitting on rocks by a stream, Goten asked the question Goku had been expecting. Dad, what's it like? Being a god. Goku considered how to explain it to a child. It's not what I thought it would be. It's not just being super strong or having cool powers. It's feeling connected to people, all the Saiyans, everywhere. Knowing they're counting on me. Is it hard? Yeah, buddy, it is. Goku ruffled his son's hair. Especially figuring out how to be a good god and a good dad at the same time. Goten leaned against him. I think you're good at both. Goku's throat tightened unexpectedly. Thanks, son. That means a lot. Their moment was interrupted by a familiar energy signature approaching rapidly. Kalyan appeared above them, descending quickly with an urgent expression. Lord Kakarot, forgive the intrusion, she said, bowing slightly. But there's a situation at the settlement that requires your immediate attention. Goku glanced at Goten, who tried to hide his disappointment. What kind of situation? A group of new arrivals is causing trouble. They're challenging your authority, claiming the divine selection was flawed. Kalyan looked genuinely concerned. They've gathered quite a following. Prince Vegeta is containing the situation, but they want to see me. Goku sighed, standing up. I'm sorry, Goten. We'll have to cut training short. Goten forced a smile. It's okay, Dad. God stuff is important. The resignation in his son's voice cut deeper than any blade. Goku made a sudden decision. Kalyan, is this situation dangerous? She considered for a moment. Potentially volatile, but not immediately dangerous. Prince Vegeta has them contained in the main gathering area. Good. Then Goten's coming with me. Goku placed a hand on his son's shoulder. Time he saw what this god business is actually about. Goten's eyes widened. Really? I can come. Really? Goku nodded to Kalyan, who looked surprised but didn't object. Let's go. The main gathering area of the Saiyan settlement was tense when they arrived. Vegeta stood facing a group of about 20 Saiyans who wore variations of traditional armor rather than the Earth-adapted clothing most had adopted. Their leader, a tall female warrior with a scarred face, was mid-argument with the prince. Cannot accept a god who refuses to honor our heritage, she was saying as Goku, Kalyan, and Goten approached. The divine power is meant to lead us to glory, not domesticity. Your idea of glory led to our near extinction, Cress, Vegeta replied coldly. Perhaps it's time to reconsider what heritage is worth preserving. The woman, Cress, noticed Goku's arrival and turned to face him. Her eyes widened slightly at the sight of Goten beside him. So the god brings a half-breed child to face us, she said with obvious disdain. How fitting. Goku felt Goten tense beside him. He kept his hand firmly on his son's shoulder. This half-breed is my son, Goku said, his voice calm but carrying a hint of warning. And he's stronger than most full-blooded Saiyan adults. I brought him to observe how we resolve disputes without unnecessary violence. Murmurs spread through the onlookers. By now, nearly 100 Saiyans had gathered to watch the confrontation. Cress stepped forward. We come from the Arctic outpost. For generations, we preserved pure Saiyan culture while others diluted their bloodlines and abandoned their warrior spirit. Her eyes flicked dismissively toward Goten. We will not follow a god who embraces weakness. What exactly do you consider weakness? Goku asked, genuinely curious. Mercy to enemies. Cohabitation with lesser races. Rejection of conquest. Crest gestured around the settlement. This, village. Building homes instead of taking them. Growing food instead of claiming it as victors. Goku studied her and her followers. Their key signatures were strong, disciplined, these were experienced warriors, not just malcontents. You want the old ways, he summarized. The Frisia days. We want Saiyan glory, one of her followers called out. Others voiced agreement. Goku nodded thoughtfully, then turned to Goten. What do you think, son? The question caught everyone by surprise, especially Goten, who blinked in confusion. Me? Yeah. You're half Saiyan, half human. You've heard about the old Saiyan ways. You live on Earth. What do you think makes a warrior strong? Goten considered the question seriously, aware of hundreds of eyes on him. I think, being strong isn't just about winning fights. It's about protecting people who can't protect themselves. That's what you and Gohan always taught me. Childish nonsense, Crest scoffed. Is it? Goku countered. My sons are both incredibly powerful, and neither was raised with conquest or cruelty. Gohan defeated Cell when he was not much older than Goten is now. He looked around at the gathered Saiyans. The old ways didn't make us strong. They made us feared, hated, and ultimately hunted to near extinction. Pretty words, Crest said. But they change nothing. We demand a god who will lead us to proper glory, not this, domestication. And if I refuse to be that kind of god? Goku asked. Then we challenge your divine right. Kresa's hand moved to her weapon, a traditional Saiyan short blade. As is our custom. Vegeta stepped forward. Enough of these challenges. Kakarot has already proven, it's okay, Vegeta, Goku interrupted. He turned back to Kress. I won't fight you. Not because I'm afraid, but because it wouldn't solve anything. You'd either lose and resent me more, or by some miracle win and still not have what you want. This unexpected response left Kress momentarily speechless. Instead, Goku continued, I have a proposal. Take your followers. Find an uninhabited region of Earth. Establish your own community based on whatever traditions you value. In 1 year, we'll compare, which group is stronger, happier, more prosperous. Actions speak louder than words or fights. Crest narrowed her eyes. You would allow dissent within your divine rule? I'm not interested in forcing anyone to follow me, Goku shrugged. That's not the kind of god I want to be. I'd rather earn respect through results than demand it through fear. The gathered Saiyans broke into discussion, clearly surprised by this approach. Vegeta looked irritated but didn't contradict Goku. After conferring with her followers, Cress faced Goku again. We accept your challenge, though not in the way you intend. We will establish our own settlement, but not to compete with yours. Her expression hardened. We will show all Saiyans that the old ways are superior. And when we've gathered enough strength, we will return to claim proper leadership. Goku nodded. Fair enough. Bulma can help you find suitable land and get started. We need no help from humans, Cress spat. We will claim our territory as Saiyans always have, through strength. As long as you don't hurt anyone or take inhabited land, that's your choice. Goku's expression turned serious. But understand this, while I won't force you to follow me, I will protect the people of this planet. Cross that line, and you'll find out exactly why I was chosen as the Saiyan god. The divine energy within him flared briefly, his eyes flashing that otherworldly purple gold. The display wasn't threatening, merely a reminder of the power he contained. Cress held his gaze for a long moment before nodding curtly. We depart tomorrow. When we return, it will be with purpose. As she and her followers left the gathering area, Vegeta approached Goku. That was risky, he said quietly. They could become a serious problem. Or they could learn something, Goku replied. Either way, forcing them to stay would have created enemies within our own community. Better to let them go and see what happens. Your optimism continues to baffle me, Kakarot. Vegeta shook his head. But I hope you're right. Goten, who had remained quietly observing the entire exchange, tugged on Goku's GI. Dad, that was really cool. You solved it without fighting. Goku grinned and ruffled his son's hair. Sometimes that's the hardest kind of strength, knowing when not to fight. He looked around at the dispersing crowd. Now, how about we finish that training session? The smile that spread across Goten's face was worth more than the approval of 1,000 Saiyans. The next day, as promised, Cress and her followers departed, heading toward the mountainous regions to the north. Goku watched them go with mixed feelings. Part of him worried he'd made a mistake allowing a potentially dangerous faction to establish themselves separately. Another part believed firmly that freedom to choose one's path was essential, even for Saiyans. They will cause trouble eventually, Kal-Ion said, standing beside him as the last of the dissenters disappeared from view. Their kind always does. Maybe, Goku acknowledged. But forcing them to stay would have been worse. Kal-Ion nodded reluctantly. It was a wise decision, though not a traditional one. Speaking of wisdom, Vegeta interrupted, approaching them with a serious expression. Whis has returned. The first formal trial begins today. Goku's expression sobered. With all the settlement drama, he'd almost forgotten about the cosmic tests that awaited him. Did he say what it involves? No. Only that you should meet him at the temple site. The temple site was an area at the edge of the settlement where some of the more spiritually minded Saiyans had begun constructing a simple shrine. Nothing elaborate, Saiyans had never been particularly religious, but a place to honor their heritage and, increasingly, to acknowledge their new divine leader. Whis was waiting there when Goku arrived, idly examining the half-finished construction. Ah, Goku. Right on time. The angel smiled. Or should I say, God of Science. The title is becoming more appropriate as your transformation progresses. Just Goku is fine, he replied, glancing around. So what's this trial about? Fighting some super powerful opponent? Solving riddles? Balancing on one finger for a week? Whis chuckled. Nothing so crude. The divine trials are more elegant. He tapped his staff on the ground, and the air rippled around them. They test not just your ability, but your suitability for godhood. The ripple expanded, forming a shimmering portal. Through it, Goku could see a strange landscape, floating islands in a purple-hued void, connected by bridges of light. This is the divine nexus, Whis explained. A realm between realms where gods are tested and evaluated. Your first formal trial awaits within. Goku peered through the portal with interest. Do I go alone? For this trial, yes. Though what you experience inside may not be what you expect. Whis's expression turned serious. Remember, Goku, these trials test your essence, not merely your power. The choices you make will determine more than your personal success or failure. With a deep breath, Goku nodded. I'm ready. Or as ready as I'll ever be. One last thing, Whis said as Goku prepared to step through. Time flows differently in the Nexus. What seems like hours to you may be days here, or vice versa. Do not be alarmed by this. Great. More time weirdness. Goku cracked his knuckles. Anything else I should know? Only this, trust your instincts. The divine energy within you knows the way, even if your conscious mind does not. With those cryptic words hanging in the air, Goku stepped through the portal. The world around him dissolved into light, then reformed into the strange landscape he'd glimpsed. He stood on a floating island of white stone, paths of light extending in multiple directions to other islands of varying sizes. The sky, if it could be called that, was a swirling mix of purple and deep blue, with what looked like distant galaxies visible through the haze. "Hello?" Goku called out, his voice echoing strangely. "Anyone here?" No answer came. The divine energy within him pulsed, drawing his attention to one of the light bridges. Without any better options, he began walking. The bridge felt solid despite its appearance, leading to a larger island with what appeared to be a simple training ground, not unlike the one in the Saiyan settlement, but constructed of the same white stone as the island itself. As Goku stepped onto this new platform, a figure appeared across from him, a Saiyan warrior in ancient-looking armor, his face noble and severe, with a beard streaked with gray. "Kakarot, son of Bardock," the figure spoke, his voice resonant with power. "Aspirant to the divine throne of Saiyans." "That's me," Goku replied, studying the stranger carefully. "And you are?" "I am Yero, the last god king of Saiyans before the fall." The figure circled Goku, examining him critically. "You are, not what I expected." "I get that a lot," Goku grinned. "So you're here to test me?" "In a manner of speaking." Yero gestured, and the training ground around them shifted, becoming more elaborate. The trial of wisdom is not about knowledge, but about understanding. About seeing beyond the obvious. "That's not really my strong suit," Goku admitted. "Indeed." Yero's expression remained stern. "Which is precisely why this trial is necessary. A god king must lead with wisdom as well as strength." The environment shifted again, and suddenly they were standing in what appeared to be the Saiyan settlement on Earth, but different, larger, more established. Saiyans moved about their daily business, some training, others building, others tending gardens or teaching children. "Is this the future?" Goku asked, watching a group of young Saiyans practicing ki control under Gohan's guidance. "A possible future," Yero corrected. "One of many. Your choices will determine which becomes reality." The scene changed again, showing the same settlement, but now militant, fortified, with warriors preparing for battle. The Saiyans wore expressions of grim determination, their training focused on combat rather than control. "Another possibility," Yero said. "Neither inherently right nor wrong, merely different paths." "What's the point of showing me this?" Goku asked. "To understand that godhood is not about strength alone, but about vision. About choices that ripple outward to affect countless lives." Yero waved his hand, and the scene changed again. This time, they stood in a vast chamber filled with beings of various races, all engaged in what appeared to be a council meeting. At the center stood Goku himself, older, more weathered, the divine aspects of his appearance fully manifested. Beside him stood Vegeta, and nearby were representatives from races Goku recognized, Namekians, Yardrats, and others he'd encountered in his travels. "Unity rather than conquest," Yero observed. "An unusual path for Saiyans." "It's the right path," Goku said firmly. "The old way nearly destroyed us." "Perhaps." Yero's expression gave nothing away. "But there are costs to every choice. Observe." The scene shifted again. Now they watched as Earth was under attack from some unknown force. Saiyans fought alongside humans to defend the planet, many falling in battle. Among the defenders, Goku saw his sons, his friends, all risking their lives. "By bringing Saiyans to Earth, you bring their conflicts as well," Yero said. "Their enemies. Their history." The implication was clear, Goku's choices had consequences, not all of them positive. The safety of Earth, his adopted home, could be compromised by his new role. "I'd never let anything happen to Earth," Goku said firmly. "Intentions are not guarantees," Yero countered. "A god must consider all possibilities, all outcomes." The scenes continued to shift, showing various futures, some peaceful, some violent, some prosperous, some devastating. Throughout them all, Goku watched himself making choices, leading in different ways, sometimes succeeding, sometimes failing. "What am I supposed to learn from all this?" he finally asked, as the images faded. "That wisdom is not about knowing all answers, but about asking the right questions." Yero stood before him, his expression softening slightly. "A true God doesn't command from certainty, but leads through understanding." "I've never claimed to be wise," Goku said honestly. "I've always just tried to do what feels right. And therein lies your unexpected wisdom." For the first time, Yero smiled faintly. The humility to acknowledge limitations, the intuition to find the right path even without perfect knowledge. The training ground reformed around them, returning to its original state. "Now," Yero said, "the true trial begins. Not a test of knowledge, but of judgment." 3 doors appeared at the edge of the training ground, each identical. "Behind each door lies a challenge," Yero explained. "Not of combat, but of choice. You must select one, and your selection itself is part of the trial." Goku approached the doors, studying them carefully. They offered no clues about what lay beyond. "Can I get a hint?" he asked hopefully. Yero's expression remained impassive. "That would defeat the purpose. Choose based on your instincts, not external guidance." Goku closed his eyes, focusing on the divine energy within him. It pulsed in response, but offered no clear direction. This choice was his alone. After a moment's consideration, he opened his eyes and pointed to the middle door. "That one." "Interesting." Yero gestured, and the door swung open. "Proceed." Beyond the door was not another room or landscape, but a swirling vortex of energy. Goku hesitated only briefly before stepping through. He found himself in what appeared to be the Capsule Corp lab. Bulma stood at a computer console, looking troubled. Around her were gathered Vegeta, Gohan, Piccolo, and several Saiyans including Saiyan. "The readings are off the charts," Bulma was saying. "If these energy fluctuations continue, they could destabilize the entire region." "What's going on?" Goku asked, but no one responded. It was as if he wasn't there, an observer to a scene playing out without him. "It's the divine energy," Gohan said, examining a readout. "Dad's transformation is causing ripples throughout the planet's energy field. It's affecting everything, weather patterns, tectonic stability, even the Earth's magnetic field." "Can it be contained?" Vegeta demanded. Bulma shook her head. "Not without completing the transformation. It's like a reaction that's been started but not finished. The energy has nowhere to go, so it's bleeding into the environment. And Kakarot remains in his trial," Saiyan added. "We cannot reach him." "Then we need to stabilize things ourselves," Piccolo said grimly. "Whatever that takes." The scene shifted, showing increasingly desperate efforts to contain the energy disruptions. Storms ravaged regions of Earth. Earthquakes threatened cities. The Saiyan settlement itself was surrounded by a chaotic aura of fluctuating power. Goku watched, helpless, as his friends and family fought to protect Earth from the consequences of his incomplete transformation. "This isn't real," he reminded himself. "It's a test." Yet it felt real. The fear on his loved ones' faces, the destruction spreading across the planet he'd sworn to protect, all consequences of his journey to godhood. The scene shifted again. Now Chi-Chi stood alone in their home, watching news reports of the disasters. "Goku, wherever you are," she whispered, "we need you to come back. To finish what you started." The pain in her voice cut through him like a blade. This was the cost of his absence, Earth suffering while he underwent these trials, his family facing dangers he couldn't protect them from. Just as the realization hit him, Yero appeared beside him again. "Now you begin to understand," the ancient Saiyan god said. "Divine transformation is not merely personal. It affects all connected to you, all within the sphere of your influence." "I need to go back," Goku said urgently. To finish the transformation, to protect them. You cannot, Yero replied. Not until the trials are complete. That is the paradox, to protect them, you must first abandon them. There has to be another way, Goku insisted. Perhaps. That is your challenge, to find it. The scene dissolved, returning them to the white stone island with the 3 doors. The middle door, which Goku had chosen, now stood open with darkness beyond. You've seen one possible future, Yero said. The other doors would have shown different possibilities, different challenges. But you chose this one, perhaps because, subconsciously, it is what you feared most. Goku frowned. Abandoning my responsibilities? Leaving Earth unprotected? Yeah, that's definitely high on my list of concerns. Yet sometimes, to truly serve those we protect, we must step away temporarily. Yero gestured toward the open door. The trial continues. You must find a solution to the paradox presented. And if I can't? Then the fears you witnessed may become reality. With those ominous words hanging in the air, Yero vanished, leaving Goku alone with the open door. Taking a deep breath, he stepped through once more. This time, he found himself in a void, not the purple-hued expanse of the divine nexus, but true emptiness, without form or feature. The divine energy within him provided the only light, a soft crimson-gold glow extending a few feet in all directions. Hello, he called, his voice swallowed by the emptiness. Is anyone here? No answer came. Goku floated in the void, uncertain of direction or purpose. Was this another test? A punishment for his choice? Or something else entirely? As he pondered, the divine energy pulsed again, stronger this time. An idea formed in his mind, not from external guidance, but from his own understanding of ki and energy. If his incomplete transformation was causing problems on Earth, perhaps he could establish a connection, a lifeline of sorts, to stabilize things until he returned. Not physical presence, but energy projection. Goku closed his eyes, focusing intently on the divine power within him. Instead of containing it, he extended it outward, visualizing connections to those he cared about, Chi-Chi, Gohan, Goten, Vegeta, the Saiyan settlement, Earth itself. The energy responded, stretching out through the void in tendrils of crimson gold light. Each tendril sought a connection, a bond with those Goku protected. It was difficult, harder than any physical exertion he'd ever attempted. Maintaining consciousness while projecting his divine essence across dimensions required concentration beyond anything he'd done before. Sweat beaded on his brow as he struggled to maintain the connections. Just when it seemed he might lose control, something unexpected happened, the connection stabilized, strengthened by something else. Some external force reinforcing his efforts. Goku opened his eyes to see the tendrils of light holding firm, pulsing with steady energy. Following one with his gaze, he saw it end in a small window-like opening in the void, through which he glimpsed Earth, specifically, the Saiyan settlement. Through this window, he saw Vegeta standing in a meditative pose, blue aura surrounding him. The prince's energy was somehow supporting Goku's connection, reinforcing it. Another tendril led to a window showing Gohan, similarly channeling his energy. Another to Piccolo. Another to the gathered Saiyans, led by Kal-Ion in some sort of ritual. They were helping him. Somehow, they had sensed his effort and were contributing their own energy to stabilize the connection. They're not just depending on me, Goku realized aloud. They're partners in this. We're doing it together. As the realization solidified, the void around him began to transform. The emptiness gave way to a simple chamber of white stone, and Yero stood before him once more. You begin to understand, the ancient god said, approval in his voice. True wisdom is not in having all answers yourself, but in knowing when to rely on others. When to trust those around you to carry part of the burden. Goku nodded, the connections he'd established still visible as threads of light extending from his body. I've always been stronger because of my friends. This isn't any different. It is entirely different, Yarrow corrected. Before, you protected them. Now, you must learn to lead them, not by commanding, but by inspiring. By trusting. By elevating them to meet challenges alongside you, not beneath you. The chamber expanded, becoming a grand hall with columns of white stone reaching toward a distant ceiling. At the center stood a simple pedestal with what appeared to be a small crimson fruit. The final part of your trial, Yarrow gestured toward the pedestal. The fruit of insight. Consuming it will grant you the wisdom of all previous Saiyan gods, their knowledge, their experiences, their understanding of divine leadership. Goku approached the pedestal cautiously. What's the catch? There's always a catch with these things. Yarrow almost smiled. Perceptive. The catch, as you put it, is that with their wisdom comes their perspective. Their biases. Their conception of what a Saiyan god should be, a conception rooted in the old ways, in conquest and dominance. So I'd get their knowledge, but might lose my own vision of what the Saiyans should become, Goku summarized. Precisely. The choice is yours, accept the wisdom of your predecessors, with all its benefits and limitations, or forge your own path with less guidance but greater freedom. Goku stood before the fruit, considering. The divine energy within him resonated with it, clearly drawn to the ancient power it contained. With that knowledge, he could avoid mistakes, understand rituals and traditions, lead with confidence born of millennia of experience. But at what cost? Would he still be Goku? Would he still see the possibility of a different path for the Saiyan race? After a long moment of contemplation, Goku reached out, not to take the fruit, but to touch it lightly with his fingertips. I don't need all their wisdom, he said. But I'd be foolish to ignore it completely. Is there a middle way? A chance to learn from them without being consumed by their perspective? Yarrow's eyes widened slightly, as if surprised by the question. Such a balance has never been attempted. The fruit has always been either consumed wholly or rejected entirely. Well, I've never been big on doing things the traditional way, Goku grinned. How about this, I take just a small piece. Enough to gain some insight without overwhelming my own perspective. The ancient god considered for a moment, then nodded slowly. Unconventional, but not forbidden. Proceed if you dare. Carefully, Goku broke off a tiny piece of the crimson fruit. It glowed softly in his palm, pulsing with power. Here goes nothing, he said, and placed the fragment in his mouth. The effect was immediate and overwhelming. Knowledge flooded his mind, centuries of Saiyan history, rituals, traditions. The rise and fall of their ancient civilization. The corruption of their warrior culture under Frisia's influence. The potential paths they might have taken had their planet not been destroyed. With the knowledge came perspective, the fierce pride of Saiyan gods who had led their people to glory and conquest. Their certainty in Saiyan's superiority, their belief in strength above all other virtues. For a moment, Goku felt himself being subsumed by these alien viewpoints, his own identity threatening to drown beneath the flood of ancient consciousness. Then his connections, the tendrils of light stretching back to Earth, pulsed strongly. Through them, he felt the energy of those who supported him, Vegeta's fierce determination, Gohan's compassionate strength, Chi-Chi's unwavering love, the hope of hundreds of Saiyans looking for a new beginning. These bonds anchored him, reminded him of who he was and what he stood for. With tremendous effort, Goku separated himself from the ancient perspectives, taking the knowledge while rejecting the limitations. When his vision cleared, he found himself kneeling on the stone floor, breathing heavily. Yarrow stood above him, watching with an unreadable expression. I've never witnessed such resistance, the ancient god said quietly. Even a fragment of the fruit has overwhelmed previous aspirants. Goku stood slowly, feeling the new knowledge settling within him. It was there, accessible but not controlling. A resource rather than a restraint. I understand so much more now, he said. About where we came from. About what went wrong. About what could have been. He met Yarrow's gaze steadily. But I still believe in what could be. In a different path forward. And that, Yarrow said, is why you may succeed where others failed. He gestured, and the hall began to fade around them. The trial of wisdom is complete. You have neither embraced the past blindly nor rejected it entirely. You have found balance, the true mark of wisdom. As the white stone chamber dissolved, Goku found himself back on the original floating island in the divine nexus. Yarrow stood before him, but now appeared translucent, fading. Return to your world, the ancient god said. Complete your transformation. Let our people with the wisdom you have earned. Wait, Goku called as Yarrow began to disappear. There's so much more I need to know. You know enough to begin, Yarrow's voice echoed as he vanished entirely. The rest, you will discover for yourself. A portal opened before Goku, similar to the one through which he'd entered the Nexus, but now showing the temple site back on Earth. With a deep breath, he stepped through. Goku emerged from the portal to find the sun setting over the Saiyan settlement. Whis stood exactly where he'd been when Goku left, as if no time had passed. Welcome back, the angel said cheerfully. How did it go? It was. Goku searched for words to describe the experience. Educational. And intense. Divine trials usually are. Whis tapped his staff on the ground, closing the portal. You seem different. More focused. I feel different. Goku touched his forehead, where the divine symbol glowed more prominently than before. I understand things now that I didn't before. About the Saiyans, about godhood. Excellent. That was the purpose, after all. Whis examined him with interest. The divine energy within you has stabilized significantly. You're one step closer to completing your transformation. As they spoke, Vegeta approached, looking surprised. Kakarot? You're back already? Already? Goku frowned. How long was I gone? Nearly 3 days, Vegeta replied. Whis said it might be longer. 3 days? Goku's eyes widened. It felt like just a few hours. Time flows differently in the divine nexus, as I mentioned, Whis reminded him. It's fortunate you returned when you did. There have been developments. The seriousness in Whis's tone caught Goku's attention. What kind of developments? Before Whis could answer, Saiyan came running toward them, her expression urgent. Lord Kakarot. You've returned. She skidded to a stop, bowing hastily. Thank the stars. We have a situation. That seems to be the theme lately, Goku sighed. What's happened? It's Cress and her followers, Saiyan explained. They've returned. But they're different. Changed. And they're not alone. Different how? Vegeta demanded. Their power has increased dramatically, Saiyan said. And they speak of someone called Zorn, who they claim is the true god of Saiyans. The name sent a jolt through Goku, recognition from the ancient knowledge he'd gained in the trial. Zorn? That's impossible. He died millions of years ago. Everyone looked at him in surprise. How do you know that? Vegeta asked suspiciously. The trial, Goku explained briefly. I gained some knowledge of Saiyan history. Zorn was one of the earliest god kings, but he was corrupted by power. The other gods sealed him away. Well, sealed or not, someone claiming to be Zorn arrived with Cress about 6 hours ago, Saiyan said. They're camped at the edge of our territory. He's demanding to speak with you. Then I shouldn't keep him waiting, Goku said grimly. Whis, you knew about this? The angel nodded. I suspected something was awakening. The divine energy of your transformation may have disturbed other dormant powers. Including those that were sealed away for good reason. Great, Goku muttered. So my godhood woke up some ancient evil Saiyan deity. That's just perfect. If it is truly Zorn, Whis cautioned, proceed with extreme care. The ancient Saiyan gods were considerably more volatile than modern deities. I'll go with you, Vegeta said immediately. If this impostor is challenging your divine claim, he's challenging our entire community. Goku nodded, appreciating the support. Call Ion, gather the settlement's strongest warriors. Have them ready, but keep them back unless I signal. I don't want to provoke a conflict if it can be avoided. Yes, my lord. She hurried off to comply. As they prepared to meet this new threat, Goku felt the divine energy within him stirring, responding to the challenge ahead. The knowledge gained from the trial of wisdom provided context. Zorn had been a fearsome deity, one who had led the Saiyans on brutal conquests before being deemed too dangerous by the cosmic hierarchy. If he had somehow returned, the peaceful future Goku envisioned for the Saiyans might be in jeopardy before it even began. One trial down, one new crisis to deal with, Goku said to Vegeta as they headed toward the edge of the settlement. Being a god isn't boring, I'll give it that. Vegeta's only response was a grim nod as they prepared to face whatever challenge awaited them. The camp at the edge of Saiyan territory was small but well organized. About 30 warriors stood guard around a central tent structure that glowed with an eerie purple light from within. Kress stepped forward as Goku, Vegeta, and a small contingent of their own warriors approached. So the pretender returns, she said, her voice carrying a new edge of fanaticism. Our true God will be pleased. Goku studied her carefully. Her power had indeed increased substantially, at least double what it had been when she left. More concerning was the strange quality of her ki, which now carried an unfamiliar resonance. I'd like to meet this true God of yours, Goku said evenly. If he's who I think he is, we have a lot to discuss. Kress smiled, but there was something unsettling in the expression. He has been expecting you. She gestured toward the tent. Enter alone, or not at all. Vegeta stepped forward. Absolutely not. If this is a trap, it's okay, Vegeta, Goku interrupted. I can handle myself. Besides, if this really is Zorn, I need to understand what we're dealing with. At least power up fully before you go in there, Vegeta insisted. Goku nodded, then allowed the divine energy to surface completely. His aura flared crimson gold, the symbol on his forehead glowing brightly, his eyes shifting to that otherworldly purple gold. I'll be fine, he assured Vegeta. Be ready out here, just in case. With that, he approached the tent alone. As he drew closer, he could feel the power emanating from within, ancient, vast, and unmistakably divine. It resonated with his own energy in a way that confirmed his suspicions. This was indeed another Saiyan god. Pushing aside the tent flap, Goku entered. The interior was larger than should have been physically possible, a vast chamber with a high ceiling supported by columns carved with Saiyan symbols. At its center sat a figure on a simple stone throne. Zorn appeared as a Saiyan in his prime, powerful, imposing, with long black hair streaked with the same crimson as Goku's single streak. His eyes glowed a solid purple without the gold flecks that marked Goku's. He wore ancient armor styled after traditional Saiyan design but crafted from some unknown material that seemed to absorb light. The new chosen one, Zorn said, his voice deep and resonant. How disappointing. Goku stood his ground. You're Zorn. The first God King of Saiyans. You were sealed away for abusing your power. Is that what they told you? Zorn laughed without humor. I was sealed away because I made the gods afraid. Because I showed what Saiyans could truly become if not constrained by the cosmic hierarchy's rules. You led our people on a campaign of conquest that almost got them wiped out, Goku countered, drawing on his newly acquired knowledge. You tried to use divine energy to enslave other races. Zorn stood, his power flaring around him in waves of deep purple. I tried to elevate our race to its rightful place in the universe. As you should be doing, instead of building farming communes and playing house with humans. That's your vision of godhood? Conquest and domination. Goku shook his head. No wonder they locked you away. You understand nothing. Zorn stepped down from his throne, approaching Goku. The divine transformation you're undergoing, it's meant to unlock our race's true potential. To make us gods among mortals. Yet you squander it on peace and cooperation. I'm using it to give our people a future, Goku replied. The old path led to destruction. Frieza wiped out planet Vegeta because he feared what Saiyans might become. A temporary setback. Under proper divine guidance, we would have crushed Frieza and his entire race. Zorn circled Goku, studying him. You have power, I'll grant you that. More than I expected from such a deluded specimen. But you lack vision. Purpose. What I lack is your hunger for control, Goku countered. I don't want to rule the Saiyans. I want to guide them towards something better than what they were. Noble sentiments, Zorn sneered. But meaningless. Our people are warriors. Conquerors. It is written in our blood, our souls. You can dress them in earth clothes and teach them to grow vegetables, but that nature will reassert itself eventually. You're wrong, Goku said firmly. I've seen what Saiyans can become when given a chance. The capacity for growth, for change. Change? Zorn laughed. Is that what you call it? Weakness by another name. The ancient god's power pulsed outward, pressing against Goku's aura. It was immense, fully developed divine energy unlike Goku's still evolving power. I have not come to fight you, Zorn said, his tone softening to something almost reasonable. Not yet. I came to offer you a choice. What choice? Join me. Complete your divine transformation under my guidance. Together, we could lead the Saiyans to glory beyond imagination. Zorn's eyes gleamed. Or oppose me, and watch as I gather our people to my cause one by one, leaving you a god with no followers. Goku met his gaze steadily. And if I choose neither? If I ask you to leave Earth and the Saiyans in peace? Zorn smiled, revealing teeth too sharp to be natural. That is not an option. The divine awakening has begun. It will not end until one true God King rules all Saiyans. He gestured to the world outside. Already my power grows as more recognize my claim. The female warrior, Cress, she was merely the first. Others will follow. They follow you because you've done something to them, Goku realized, remembering the strange quality of Cress's ki. You've influenced them somehow. I have merely awakened what was already there, their true Saiyan nature. Zorn returned to his throne. You have 3 days to consider my offer. After that, I will begin gathering all Saiyans to my banner. Those who resist will face consequences. I don't need 3 days, Goku said firmly. My answer is no. I won't join you, and I won't let you corrupt our people with your outdated vision. Zorn's expression hardened. Then you choose conflict. So be it. He waved a hand dismissively. Go. Complete your remaining trials if you can. It will make no difference in the end. As Goku turned to leave, Zorn called after him. One last thing, Kakarot. Ask yourself why the cosmic hierarchy chose you, an earth-raised Saiyan who knows nothing of our heritage. Could it be because you are easy to control? A puppet god who will keep the Saiyans docile and contained? The question lingered in the air as Goku exited the tent, stepping back into the evening air. Vegeta and the others waited anxiously, gathering around him as he emerged. Well? Vegeta demanded. Is it really Zorn? Goku nodded grimly. It's him. And we've got a serious problem on our hands. The end. Thank you for watching this video. Please be sure to subscribe to our channel and like this video.